Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Intrix back again with another Conqueror's Blade video. With some help of some good buddies, we're going to test the Shield Maidens against some of the meta units in the game. Right off the get-go, we're going to start with Monastic Knights. Now during this point, that charge only actually ended up killing 5 of the Shield Maidens. They got right back up and they started fighting. A really good skirmisher unit for sure. If you see here, they're also staggering the Cav. They're kind of just stopping them dead in their tracks while they're fighting them. Something to keep note of. Now we're moving on, where we have the Shield Maidens charge into a Pavis crossbow line. They took absolutely no damage by the time they hit the Pavis crossbowmen. Even if you had double shot, it doesn't appear like any type of range is going to stop the Shield Maidens. Next we move on to Silidars. It's an interesting fight, and then it looks like the Silidars might start getting a bit of a edge here, and then all of a sudden it just changes for the worse for the Silidars. And they were just completely deleted, just like that. It's insane to see that, actually. Next, we move on to the old Iron Reapers and see how they perform with their charge. And just like that, it appears that the Iron Reapers still has the upper hand if they're charging first. They completely obliterated the Shield Maidens. However, we did not have the time to test any other type of battles, just basically an Iron Reaper versus a Shield Maiden. However, we might do that in another video another time. Moving on, we're doing Shield Maidens versus Fortebraccio Pikemen. This one is kind of hard to replicate because pikes can be so vulnerable. As you can see, Shield Maidens are charging in, they're basically hugging the left and right side, and pretty much the majority of that unit is already around, and just getting the crits and hitting from behind. It's kind of hard to replicate this in the field because there's no walls, no gates or anything like that. However, if there was doctrines involved, maybe a stun would have changed that a little bit. It's hard to say, but they pretty much got obliterated. Now we move on to the Condo Guards. People were saying that Condo Guards can counter the Shield Maidens, and we see right here that doesn't appear to be the case. They are struggling in the skirmish. Shield Maidens appear to be not affected by the Shield Bash at all, completely holding their line and just slowly eating away at the Condo Guards. Next we move on to the Syrinx. Now the Syrinx are a promising unit in Season 7. With all the changes and the buffs that they did, it's definitely not a unit to sleep on anymore. This particular Syrinx unit line has the bleed instead of the knockdown, so it actually really does play a factor into the Shield Maiden's ability to stay alive. That bleed is slowly eating away at them like acid, but they do hold up quite well. This is one of the more interesting battles to see, especially from the Syrinx side where they were just holding up so well. They definitely had the crowd control abilities to counter the Shield Maidens, as well as the ability to just slowly eat away at their health. Shield Maidens do have quite a bit of health, but at the same time, they're just more tanky in their armor sense. So bleed and more than likely fire are going to be ways to eat away at this unit. Next, we move on to the Imperial Pike Guards. Everyone knows that the advanced walk is one of the metas of the game, however, it seems to be slowly phasing out. Shield Maidens, completely unaffected by this walk, was completely able to counter it. Imperial Pike Guards are pretty much rendered useless at this point. Nothing that they could do, didn't even really put any damage towards the Shield Maidens. And lastly, we moved on to the Stalwarts. Stalwarts meta is pretty good, and it has been for the last little while. Everyone is boasting about how well the Stalwarts line is. However, yes, Iron Reapers is capable of breaking this wall. Shield Maidens completely obliterates it. They stood absolutely no chance at all. That is insane. And compared to some of the other units, such as the Cylindars and the Syrinx, at least they had the ability to skirmish for quite a little bit of while. A lot longer than the Imperial Pike Guards or the Stalwarts even. And I guess if you're fighting a losing battle, at least being able to sustain a little bit longer is probably a good thing. But long story short, for pretty much almost no kills and barely even putting any type of dent into this unit's health, what is the conclusion here? Shield Maidens is definitely a new meta that's been brought into the game. As a legendary shield unit, and also just the fact that they're such a hybrid shield unit as well, with a lot of skirmishing and fighting capabilities, it really gives them a whole lot of ability to be a defensive and offensive unit at the same time. Clearly what you can see here is regardless of how they're fighting or what they're fighting, they can hold their line quite well. And then when it comes to actually move ahead and change into that offensive force, they really do have a strong ability to just switch the spears to the swords and clean up anything that they didn't do initially by holding said line. Shield Maidens is definitely one of the units that's going to change the game and be one hell of a unit to play. Keep in mind, there are counters to this unit though, but even still, they hold up quite well themselves, given the fact that they're fighting a unit that probably has the ability to cripple them. When it comes to field battles, it's really going to be interesting to bring the Shield Maidens to a field battle against Cavalry. Just looking at what the Monastic Knights did, not a whole lot. And the ability to just stop Cav dead in their tracks, it's going to be crazy to see. With that being said, I want to thank King, Dingling, Colt 45, Triggerfinger, Carrick, and Racer for taking the time to go and test these units out. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, so we couldn't do a lot more testing, but it is in the works, and we'll have more videos out soon. So with that being said, thank you for watching my videos. Like and subscribe. More content on the way soon. This is Intrix signing out, and I'll see you on the battlefield.